Hey everyone, this is Blackjack Hacker here and welcome to a brand new video. So today I'm going to show you guys how to count cards in 2021 because card counting in blackjack is an actual proven way to actually gain an edge over the casino and make loads and loads of money. Okay, people literally do this. There's some people out there that literally do this full time. So it's an actual way that you can make tons of money. And it's really simple to do once you understand it. So I'm going to explain exactly how you can do it and how you can apply it either in real life casinos or in online casinos. It works as well. Okay, so what exactly is card counting? It's really simple, guys. It's a strategy that you can actually gain an edge over the casino, and to do this you need to keep track of something called the running count throughout the shoe. Okay, so there's going to be many cards dealt. When the dealer shuffles a brand new shoe, he's going to deal some cards and you need to keep track of the count every time a new card is dealt. Okay, so each card has a value for this running count. So all the high cards such as 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace have a -1 value to the count. 7, 8, and 9 are considered as neutral cards and they have a 0 to the count. All the small cards such as 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have +1 to the count. Now, why do these have different values? Well, it's pretty simple. All the high cards are really good for the player to have, okay, for us. Because once we get high cards, usually we have a high chance of getting a blackjack, okay? Because if there's a Jack and an Ace combined or 10 and an Ace combined, well, we get a blackjack, and what happens when us, the players, we get a blackjack? We get paid extra, okay? We get paid 3-2, okay? And that's really a huge advantage for us to get paid more when we actually win a hand and get blackjack. And also, we just never lose when we have blackjack. Now, also, another reason why high cards are really good for us, the players, rather than the dealer, is because usually high cards can really give you good double downs. Let's just take an example that my first two cards that were dealt to me were 2 5s and the dealer has an 8. Well, in this case, we have 10 versus dealer's 8. So it's considered a good double down opportunity. So by knowing if there's still a lot of high cards left in the shoe, if you double down, in most cases, you're going to get a total of, you're going to get a face card or a 10. So that means you're going to get usually 20 versus a dealer's 8 on that double down. So you're going to win almost all of your double downs because the dealer's usually going to flip an 18 or even worse than that. So yeah, it's really good for us, the players, to have high cards. Now, neutral cards, why do they have a value of 0? Is because there's as good for the player than the dealer to have, okay? They don't really make a difference into the gameplay, okay? And the low cards are actually better for a dealer to have than the player, okay? So because us, the players, when we have low cards, it gives many combinations of bad starting hands, such as 15, 16, 14, and in most of those cases, we need to hit those hands, and they really represent busting hands, okay, because we have a high chance of busting. So it's really not good for us players to have a lot of low cards left in the shoe because we're going to usually lose most of those hands. So guys, it may seem a lot to take in right now, but I'm going to go on the whiteboard and explain you exactly what it would look like to calculate the running count and count cards if you were in a real life casino. Alright guys, so I'm on the whiteboard right now, and as you can see here is a screenshot of an online casino. Now, the first thing you need to realize when you're counting cards, you need to make sure that it's the first hand of the shoe, okay? So you always want to restart your count every time a new shoe is being dealt. So as you can see, the tray is empty over here. So this means there's no hand. This is the first hand of the shoe that is being dealt. So you're good to go for card counting. Now, the other thing you need to do now is to analyze the cards and calculate the running count. So in this example, in this screenshot we see over here, the first two cards are Ace and 2. So Ace, which is a high card, so that's -1 to the count. Then we have a 2, which is a small card, so you add +1 to the count. So your total running count right now is -1 + 1, which means 0, okay? Really simple math, guys. Nothing more to do. Now, if we go on to 2 next cards over here, this is a 6, so 6 is a low card, so you add +1 to the count. And then we have a 9 over here, which is a neutral card, so 0 to the count. So your total running count right now, guys, is +1. Why, guys? Because remember, the first two cards, it ended up in 0, and now you just added a +1 over here because we had a low card. So your total running count right now is at +1. Now let's see, the last card here is a 7, which is a neutral card, so you add 0 to the count. So your total running count for the first 5 cards dealt is +1, okay? It's really simple math, right, guys? You did -1, +1, and then added a +1 over here because there was a small card, and then, you know, here you don't add anything because it's a neutral card. So +1 running count, and that's how you calculate the running count. So it's almost it for card counting. There is an extra thing though. You need to make sure to actually know when you have the edge over the casino, and you can start making big bets and make a lot of money when you're card counting. So when is the game of blackjack profitable when you're card counting, and when can you start making big bets and make a lot of money? Well, it's really simple. All you need to do is to wait when the true count is at least +2 or more, okay? And you may say, what exactly is the true count? It's really simple, guys. The true count is the running count divided by the number of decks remaining. So we'll go back to the whiteboard and show you guys exactly how to calculate the true count from our previous example. All right, so we're back here, and now let's calculate the true count from our previous example. So right now, as you remember, our running count for the first 5 cards was +1, okay? Now, how do you calculate the true count? It's the running count, which is +1 divided by the number of decks remaining. In this case, it's 8 decks remaining, okay? Because in most online casinos, there is around 8 decks over here. And since only 5 cards have been dealt, there's still around 8 decks remaining in the shoe. So this means 1 divided by 8, which gives a true count of around 0.12. So it's not even close of being +2 yet. But that's the trick with card counting. In the first few hands, you're usually not going to get enough of a good true count to make the game profitable and start making big bets. But it's okay, because as most card counters know, you usually need to wait at the middle of the shoe or near the end of the shoe to start getting good true counts, and that's when you start making really big profitable bets, okay? So in this case, with the first 5 cards, we're at 0.12, but as the shoe would go on, there's gonna be a point where we're going to be able to have a better true count, such as like +2 or +3, and start making big bets, okay? So that is pretty much it. It's really simple to calculate the true count. Now over here we have the true count chart. This is just to show you that every time the true count increases by 1, guys, the player gains a 0.5% edge over the casino. So that's why you can start betting at a +2 true count or better, because that's when you start having an edge. Because as a regular blackjack player, the average player, they start at a disadvantage of -0.5%. Okay, that's the casino's edge on the blackjack game. Okay, and so if you start with a fresh new deck, with a just fresh new shoe, everything just starts at 0. Well, you start at a disadvantage of -0.5%. Then if the true count goes at +1, then it's going to be neutral, okay? It's going to go to a 0% edge, so you're going to be neutral at the casino. And as soon as it hits a +2 true count, then you start getting an edge of 0.5%. True count of +3, you have a 1% edge over the casino. True count of +4, you have 1.5% edge. True count of +5, you have a 2% edge, and it goes on and on as the true count increases, guys. So it's really simple. Now, another thing to combine with card counting that is really important, you need to learn this by heart to actually make the game profitable, is to learn basic strategy, okay? It's really simple, guys. If you've never heard of it, it's just basically a chart that tells you the optimal way to play blackjack, okay? So the optimal way on every hand you have versus a dealer's up card, it's going to tell you the best play to do depending on what you have every time you're dealt a new hand. So just a couple of examples here. As you can see, the chart tells us that if we have a starting hand of 12 versus a dealer's 2, we should hit. If we have a starting hand of 11 versus a dealer's 7, we should double down. If we have 2 8s versus a dealer's 6, the best play to do is to split. So it's just Really simple, and once you know this by heart, it's really easy to know this by heart. Just practice a bit by playing, and if you combine this with card counting, that's when you can start making profitable bets and make a lot of money. So when would be the exact perfect time to leave the table when you're card counting? Well, with my personal experience, I like to leave at a true count of -2 or lower, and reason why is because if you're already at a true count of -2, it's really bad. Okay, the casino is already in a big advantage over you, and the other reason why is because at a -2, -3, or even worse than that true count, it's really hard to go from a -2 true count up to at least a +2 to get a +2 true count to at least gain a small edge over the casino. Okay, so it's not even worth your time to continue playing, because in most cases you're maybe not throughout the shoe, you're maybe not even going to be able to get a +2 true count if if the cutting card is at the middle of the shoe and he needs to reshuffle a brand new shoe. Okay, so my recommendation is to really leave at around -2, -3 true count. And also you can leave when you're satisfied with your profits. Okay, a lot of card counters use time limits. So let's say a lot of card counters say, well, every time I go to the casino, I'm going to stay like around 4 hours per session, and whatever profit, whatever the amount of money I've made today in profit, I'm going to leave after 4 hours of play. Or other players like to set winning and loss limits. So some people say, okay, if I win $1,000 today with card counting, I'm gonna leave. If I lose $1,000 today with card counting, sometimes it happens. Okay, it's really a long-term game, but yeah, just people set limits or set time limits, and then they leave when they're satisfied with their profits. Now, one of the most important factors to include in your card counting gameplay is card counting bet spreads. Okay, this is one of the most important things when you're card counting, because this is literally gonna make you make loads of money. Okay, with a good betting spread. So basically, what is a bet spread? Is basically a betting pattern you're gonna use that you want to bet more when the count is in your favor, and you want to bet small when the count is not in your favor. Okay, it's just simple logic, guys. Okay, when you have the edge, you want to make these big bets to win more, and when you do not have the edge, you want to bet really small to really minimize your losses. So a great example of a popular bet spread that many card counters use, it's my favorite bet spread as well, is the 1-8 bet spread. So basically, let's say your base bet is $10. This is how the bet spread would work. So the player should bet 1 unit, which means $10 at a true count of +1 or lower. The player should bet 2 units, which means $20 at a true count of +2. Player should bet 4 units, which means $40 at a true count of +3. And a player should bet 8 units, which means $80 at a true count of +4 or higher. So it's simple logic, guys. If you know you're at let's say you're at a true count of +5, well, you want to bet big, okay? You want to bet $80 because you have way more chances of winning that hand because of the true count is so high. And you want to bet really small and cut your losses when let's say you're at a true count of like -1 or -2. Now the casino has the edge over you, so you want to bet only $10 because in most cases you're gonna lose these hands. Okay, so it's basic logic, and if you use this card counting bet spread and all the other stuff I learned, you're going to be a card counting pro, and you're gonna make loads of money with card counting. So last but not least, guys, before I end this, I just want to tell you that it's important to practice card counting at home before going online in online casinos or in real life casinos, because remember that the dealers deal the cards really fast, so you need to keep track of the running count and the true count really fast. Okay, so a basic strategy that I've used when I started to practice card counting is to just buy a simple deck of cards, either at the dollar store, at a Walmart near your town, and then practice at home. Okay, so you would shuffle the deck and then just flip card after card and try to count the entire deck in around a minute to a minute 10 seconds, or even under a minute if you're getting really good. And yeah, if done correctly, the count will come out to 0. Okay, the running count will come out to 0, because remember that in a full deck of cards, there's as many low cards than high cards. Okay, so that's why if you can count in literally under 1 minute, or a bit over a minute, and the count actually ends up exactly at 0, then you're good to go to start card counting in real life or in online casinos. Okay, but yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Way more blackjack tips and tricks content coming out soon, so make sure to drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to get notified when I upload around here. And yeah, see you next one, guys. Bye bye.